Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Keisha Forehand, and this is my video assignment for my Mindful Leadership class. The topic that I chose came out of Chapter 5, which is a purposeful pause. Talking points for my presentation are to define what a purposeful pause is, why I chose the topic, putting those purposeful pauses to work in real-world application, and my personal experiences and examples along with my list of references. This chapter on purposeful pauses, it wasn't the longest chapter in the book, and it really didn't pertain a whole lot of small details, but to me that was the beauty of this topic, was how simple it is to take 30 to 45 seconds to find your space and to find your purpose in that exact moment. So what is a purposeful pause? Marturano, she described it in her book as basically a moment when you notice a squirrel, or you notice something that you typically wouldn't notice and you chose to intentionally pay attention to it. Is being able to recognize when you need to stop and allow yourself to open up to your surroundings to where you can listen to yourself and to others. Clearing your mind of all the clutter and noise and just being present and having the space to do just that. Why I chose this topic, again, for me, this small pause really stood out to me, and I've been able to actually implement it into my daily life. I've basically been on autopilot for a while now, and I functioned in organized chaos daily. I was always tired, exhausted. My mind was completely wore out. I wasn't being the best supervisor or coworker. So adding these pauses into my daily routine helped me slow down and be present. Therefore, I became a better person all around. That's why I chose this topic, because it had the most profound effect on me personally. Putting these pauses to work in real-world application, I read a lot of articles and watched a few videos. One article that I read was basically how to implement the pauses, but also how to do a technology detox. She talks about how we're always blowing up our brains with stimulation, and that's mind and soul numbing. You know, having the TV on in every room, or having the radio blaring every time you're in the car, or when you're working out, you've got the music cranked, in your earbuds. We've got to turn that noise off. Silence and stillness is investing in purposeful pause. A few ways that we can do that is Quit all TV watching. Just don't watch TV. Try digital sunset. That's where you turn off all your devices at sunset. Exercise without music blaring in your ears. This allows you to hear and notice the surroundings. The technology detox creates extra time for you now to be able to do other things, such as read a book, take a walk, work on a hobby, work on a craft. You now have to You've now put your personal pauses into your real world. We can all do these things in our daily routines, and once you realize what you're missing, it will become your new routine. I have personally started exercising without music, and I now see the wildlife in action. I hear birds chirping. I hear dogs barking in the background, people visiting and talking to each other. I now have the space to have my purposeful pause during my daily workout. I watched a video by Dan Harris, who is an ABC correspondent, and he kind of put a different spin, interpretation on purposeful pauses. He said it's a meditation in a single serving. He later describes purposeful pauses as not taking the bait when your mind takes off running in undesirable directions. That's a superpower. I thought that was a very unique way of putting it. Another personal example of mine that I've started doing is when I go to my office in the morning times, I've got my door shut, and when I'm getting logged into my computer, I take those 30 to 45 seconds and I shut my eyes and I breathe. I'm not thinking about the emails that are about to pop up in my inbox. I'm just sitting there breathing, and it has the most calming effect. I've also implemented pauses into my personal life. I tend to bring my work home with me, and I don't allow myself time away from work. But I do that now. I've started to, not checking emails after 7 p.m. So I'm giving myself some time to disconnect. Even if I heard my phone ding, I didn't go check the email. But now, it's hard for me to separate the two since we are now working remotely from home in these very unprecedented times. But I'm working on that. I'm working on adjusting, and I know I'll be able to find a way to implement those pauses effectively. Another way I found to incorporate the pauses is to walk. When I find myself involved in a project that is overwhelming to me, I get up and I move. I remove myself from the situation for at least a minute or two. Taking a pause and taking a walk are just two ways that can help you be more productive at work. Again, purposeful pauses have really had an extreme effect on me, and I'm very grateful to have come across this in this class, and I know that implementing this stuff into my daily life is going to help me become more effective in my job and become a better person, probably overall in the end.